back with a new topic, Oliver Twist question and answers. So let's begin. But before that, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to my channel. First extract is, Oliver Twist was born in a workhouse. His mother, a young woman, lay ill in bed, dash, dash, dash. So the first question is, what is a workhouse? What does it say about the setting of the story? Answer is, a workhouse was a place where people who were unable to support themselves, such as the poor, elderly, orphaned, were sent to live and work in exchange for basic necessities like food and shelter. The fact that Oliver Twist was born in a workhouse suggests that the story takes place in a time and place where poverty and inequality were significant issues. The setting reflects the pathetic condition of English society back then. It shows the other side, the people's perspective. It reflects the poor economic condition of the people. Moving on to the next question. Who were present in the room where Oliver was born and why? There were 3 people present in the room where Oliver was born. His mother, a doctor and an elderly old woman. The fact that Oliver's mother was in a workhouse suggests that she may not have had access to private medical care or support of family members during her pregnancy and birth. So the doctor and an old woman were likely provided by the workhouse as a part of their institutional care. Next question. What was the Oliver's mother's wish? How did she try to fulfill her wish? What happened to the young women soon after that? Answer is, Oliver's mother's final wish was to see her newborn child before she died. She tried to fulfill her wish by holding the child before she died while saying, "Let me see the child and die," within inverted commas. Unfortunately, the young woman dies soon after giving birth to Oliver. The doctor pronounces her dead and notes that she was a good-looking girl with no wedding ring, indicating that she was unmarried. Next question. What did the old woman say about her to the doctor? Answer is, as a final wish, she wants to see her son and then die peacefully. On this, old lady says, "No dear, you are too young to die," inverted comma mein. The old woman says that the young woman was a good-looking girl and had no wedding ring. She told the doctor that the girl had been brought in the previous night. She had been found lying in the streets and seemed to have walked a long way and also had holes in her shoes. Nobody knew where she came from or where she was going. Next question. What evidence is given in the story to say the young woman was poor and not married? Answer is, the evidence that suggests the young woman who gave birth to Oliver was poor and unmarried includes her worn out shoes, second, the absence of wedding ring, and her physical appearance. These details imply that she may have been in a difficult financial situations and lacked the financial resources to care for her child on her own, which is why she ended up in the workhouse where she gave birth. Now the next extract. The doctor raised the dead woman's left hand. The usual story, he said, dash, dash, dash. First question. When the doctor raised the young woman's hand, what did he notice? What does this indicate about the young woman? Answer is, when the doctor raised the young woman's left hand, he noticed that she did not have a ring on her finger. This indicates that the young woman was not married. In the context of the story, this detail helps to establish the young woman's social and economic status, as unmarried women in this time faced significant challenges in supporting themselves and their children. Second question, what did the older women do after the doctor went home? What does this say about life in the workhouse? Answer is, after the doctor left for the dinner, the old women sat down on a chair in front of fire and dressed the baby in very old clothes that were used for babies who were born in the workhouse. This highlights the harsh living conditions and lack of compassion towards the less fortunate during that period. Third question, who gave the name to the baby? What logic did he follow while naming the babies? Answer, Mr. Bumble, an important officer in the town, gave the name to the newborn babies. He followed the logic of naming the babies in alphabetical order from A to Z. He named the last one Scooble and chose the name Oliver Twist for the newborn. He explained that the next baby would be named Unwin. Fourth question. Oliver was an orphan, inverted commas, born into a world which had no love or pity for him. Give example from the extract that Oliver experiences a lack of love. So first answer is, one example from extract that shows Oliver's lack of love is the fact that he and the other workhouse boys never had enough warm clothes or food. They were given only 3 meals of thin soup every day. And on Sundays, they had a small piece of bread. This shows that the workhouse authorities did not care about providing proper nutrition and warmth to the children in their care, indicating a lack of love and care towards them. Fifth question. What was the condition of children in England as shown in the story? So answer is, the story depicts the miserable condition of children in England, especially those who were born into poverty and had no families to support them. Children in workhouse were subjected to harsh living conditions, inadequate food, and little to no care or affection. They were treated as if they had no value and were forced to work long hours in difficult conditions. The story also highlights the lack of support and resources available to women who found themselves in difficult circumstances, such as Oliver's mother. Moving on to the third extract. Why was no one able to discover the identity of baby's parents? Answer is, no one was able to discover the identity of baby's parents because the child was an orphan who was born in workhouse. The mother was unknown and the father was never mentioned or identified. Mr. Bumble, an important officer in town, invented a name for the baby and claimed that they named babies in alphabetical order from A to Z. This suggests that the workhouse was overcrowded and understaffed, and the babies born there were often abandoned or left without anyone to care for them. Second question, who was Mr. Bumble? What did he do for the baby? So answer is, Mr. Bumble was an important officer in the town who was in charge of the workhouse where Oliver Twist was born. When no one could discover the baby's father or mother, Mr. Bumble invented a name for him, Oliver Twist. He also made arrangements to have Oliver taken care of in the workhouse. However, he was not particularly kind to Oliver or the other children in his care and often punished them very harshly. Third question. How the babies were named? What does the name Twist allude to? Answer is, the babies in the workhouse were named in alphabetical order from A to Z, with Mr. Bumble, an important officer, inventing the names. For instance, the last baby was named Scooble and the next would be Unwin. Mr. Bumble chose the name Oliver Twist for this baby. The name Twist alludes to difficult and complex path that baby's life is likely to take, as he is born into a world that has no love or pity for him. Important. Fourth question, why did Oliver look thin and pale? How do you think the other boys looked in the warehouse? Give a reason to support your answer. So answer is, Oliver looked thin and pale because he, like the other workhouse boys, did not have enough nutritious food. They were given only 3 meals of thin soup every day, and on Sundays they had a small piece of bread. The conditions of workhouse were harsh, and the children were malnourished and poorly cared for, leading to physical weakness and illness. It is likely that the other babies in the workhouse also looked thin and pale due to poor living conditions. Moving to the last question of this extract, what was the normal food given to the boys? What was extra food given to them on Sundays? What does it reflect about the inmates of the workhouse? Answer. According to the text, boys in the workhouse were given only 3 meals of thin soup every day. On Sundays, they were given a small piece of bread as well. The extra food given to them on Sunday was just a small piece of bread. This reflects the extreme poverty and harsh conditions that the inmate of the workhouse faced. They were not given sufficient food as well as nutritious food to maintain good health, and were forced to live on meager portions of thin soup and bread. The lack of proper nutrition and inadequate food intake would have contributed to the poor health and weak physical condition of children, including Oliver. Next extract. Question 1. What is said about the physical appearance of Master? Why was he surprised? Answer. It is said that the Master was fat and a healthy man. But when Oliver asked for more food, the Master went very pale and looked at the small boy with surprise. The reason for Master's surprise was that Oliver's request for more food went against the established rules and regulations of the warehouse. Next question. Why was Oliver hit with Master's spoon? What was Oliver's asking for more food seen as? Answer is, Oliver was hit with Master's spoon and was later punished for asking for more food because it was seen as an act of insolence and disobedience. The workhouse was a place where children were supposed to be grateful for whatever little they had been given. And asking for more was seen as a violation of rules and an act of rebellion. The Master's reaction and punishment of Oliver reflects the harsh and bad conditions of the workhouse, where the children had no voice or rights and were subject to absolute authorities of their seniors. Next question. Whom did the Master call for help? What did that person say against Oliver? So the answer is, the Master called for help and Mr. Bumble rushed into the room. When he heard that what Oliver had said, he exclaimed, "He asked for more? I can't believe it. One day they will hang the boy." This suggests that Mr. Bumble did not have a favorable opinion of Oliver and viewed him as troublemaker. Next question. How did he punish Oliver? What is the punishment proportionate to the offense? So answer is, Oliver was punished quite harshly for his request for more food. The Master hit him with a spoon and Mr. Bumble proclaimed, "I cannot believe it. One day they will hang the boy." Oliver was then taken away and locked in a dark room for 1 complete week, where he was beaten and given little food. This punishment is not proportionate to the offense, as it was just a request for more food, and the severity of the punishment is a reflection of the harsh and unforgiving environment of the workhouse. Next question. Who shut Oliver in a cold, dark room? Where was Oliver imprisoned for a whole week and why? So Oliver was imprisoned in a cold, dark room as he had asked for more gruel because he was hungry, and that was a crime in the eyes of the organizers of the workhouse. Next question, was it proper for Mr. Bumble to beat Oliver in front of everyone? Why did he do so? Answer is no. It was not proper for Mr. Bumble to beat Oliver in front of everyone. It was an act of humiliation and cruelty. Mr. Bumble beat Oliver in front of everyone so that all the other boys would see the punishment. Oliver was being given and be frightened and never dare to ask for more food. He wants to set an example through the beating he gave Oliver. Last extract. Who was Mr. Sorrowberry? Describe his physical appearance. Answer is, Mr. Sorrowberry was a tall, thin man who wore black clothes and made coffins. He earned money by making coffins for poor people who died in the workhouse. He was described as having a face which looked thin and pale as if he were a corpse or dead body. He was also said to have a deep voice, which suggests that he spoke in low and serious tone. Next question. What do you think his black clothes signify? What was the notice at the gate? What did the notice state? So answer is, the black clothes of Mr. Sorrowberry, who was a coffin maker, signifies that he was a professional mourner and his business was associated with death. The notice at the gate offered a reward of £5 to anyone who would take Oliver Twist away from the workhouse. This notice reflected the indifference of the workhouse authorities toward the plight of the orphans and their eagerness to get rid of them. Next question. Why did Mr. Bumble say that Sorrowberry would be rich one day? Answer is, Mr. Bumble said that Mr. Sorrowberry would be rich one day because he made coffins for the poor, people who died in the workhouse. And due to the poor caring and nourishment, many orphans were dying. Mr. Sorrowberry had a steady source of income. And as more and more people died in the workhouse, his business would grow. Therefore, Mr. Bumble predicted that Mr. Sorrowberry would become rich one day. Next question. Which theme of the story is reflected? Explain it in brief. Answer. The extract reflects the theme of poverty, highlights the desperate living conditions of people in the workhouse who lacked basic necessities like food and shelter. Mr. Sorrowberry's job of making coffins for the poor who died in the workhouse illustrates the grim reality of poverty. The workhouse master's willingness to sell Oliver for a small amount of money highlights the exploitation of the vulnerable. All over, the extract portrays the pervasive impact of poverty on people's lives during that time. Hope these question and answers will be useful to you people. And if you like the video, so please do like, share and subscribe. Please do share it with your friends as well. Bye.